Stay silent and watch what Allah does. There are moments in life when you want to respond, to defend yourself, to prove your worth. But what if your silence is actually your strength? What if Allah is asking you to stay quiet because He's about to elevate you? Silence protects you from regret. There will be moments in your life where your heart is burning. Someone said something unfair. Someone disrespected you. Someone misunderstood you completely. And inside you, there is a storm. Your mind is racing. Your chest feels tight. And every part of you wants to respond. You want to correct them, to defend yourself, to prove that you are right. But pause for a second. How many times have we spoken in anger and regretted it later? How many relationships were damaged because of just a few words? One sentence can destroy years of respect. One reaction can turn peace into chaos. And Shaitan loves that moment when you are emotional, when you are hurt, when you are not thinking clearly. He whispers, say it, respond, don't stay quiet. Because he knows once it comes out of your mouth, you can never take it back. But the believer is different. The believer pauses, even when it's hard, even when the heart is screaming, they choose silence. Not because they are weak, but because they are strong enough to control themselves. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us something powerful. The strong person is not the one who can overpower others, but the one who can control themselves when angry. So when you stay silent, you are not losing, you are winning a battle that most people fail. You are protecting your dignity, your character, your akhirah. Because words are not small. Every word is written. Every sentence is recorded. And one day, you will stand before Allah and those same words will be brought back to you. So ask yourself, is this response worth it? Is this argument worth standing in front of Allah for? Sometimes the best reply is no reply at all. Sometimes walking away is more powerful than winning the argument. Because silence doesn't just protect your tongue, it protects your heart, your peace, and your future. So the next time you feel that fire inside you, pause, take a breath, and choose silence. Because not every battle is worth your words. 2, Allah sees what people don't. There are moments when you feel completely misunderstood. People judge you without knowing your story. They assume, they accuse, they speak about you as if they know everything, but they don't. They don't see your struggles. They don't see your intentions. They don't see the battles you fight in silence. And sometimes that hurts the most because you wish just for once someone would understand. But listen carefully. You don't need everyone to understand you because Allah sees what they don't. He sees the tears you hide, the patience you carry, the pain you don't talk about. He sees the nights when you were breaking inside but still chose to stay strong. He sees the moments when you could have done wrong but you held yourself back for His sake. And when Allah sees, He never ignores not a single dhulm, not a single injustice, not even the smallest pain goes unnoticed. People may forget, people may move on, people may never apologize. But Allah never forgets. And this is where your strength comes from. Not from proving yourself to people, not from explaining your side, not from fighting every accusation, but from knowing Allah knows the truth. And when you truly believe that, something changes inside you. You stop seeking validation from الناس and you start seeking it from Allah. You stop chasing people's approval and you start focusing on Allah's pleasure. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who misunderstood you. What matters is how Allah sees you. So let them talk, let them assume, let them misunderstand. Because your worth is not defined by people. It is defined by Allah. And the one who sees everything is the only one whose judgment truly matters. 3, your silence is tawakkul, trust in Allah. There comes a moment when you realize you can't fix everything. You can't control people. You can't control situations. You can't control how others treat you. And that realization can feel heavy, because deep down, you want justice. You want things to be made right. You want people to understand. You want the truth to come out. But sometimes Allah doesn't ask you to fight. He asks you to trust. And that trust is called tawakkul. Tawakkul is not just a word, it's a state of the heart. It's when you stop trying to control everything and you place it in the hands of Allah. It's when you say, Ya Allah, I've done what I can, the rest is with you. And that's not easy, because silence in those moments feels like surrender. But it's not surrender to people, it's surrender to Allah. And there is a big difference. When you stay silent for Allah, you are not weak. You are choosing a higher response. You are choosing to step back so that Allah can step in. Because sometimes the reason things are not resolving is because you are still trying to handle them yourself. But when you let go, when you truly let go, that's when Allah takes over. And when Allah takes over, things don't just get fixed. They get fixed in ways you never expected. Doors open, hearts change. Truth becomes clear. And you realize, if you had reacted, if you had argued, if you had tried to control everything, you might have made things worse. But your silence, your trust, your tawakkul allowed Allah to handle it perfectly. So the next time you feel like reacting, ask yourself, am I trusting Allah, or am I trying to control everything myself? Because real strength is not in speaking louder, it's in trusting deeper. And when you truly trust Allah, you find peace even before the outcome comes. Because you know the one handling your situation is the one who never makes mistakes. 4, not everyone deserves your energy. There is something many people don't realize until it's too late. Not everyone in your life is meant to stay, and not every person deserves your time, your attention, your energy. But we struggle with this. We try to hold on. We try to fix people. We try to keep connections alive, even when they are slowly draining us. Why? Because we care, because we have good hearts, because we believe if we just try a little more, if we just explain ourselves better, if we just stay patient with them, maybe things will change. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes the more you give, the more you are taken for granted. The more you explain, the more you are misunderstood. The more you stay, the more you lose yourself. And that's where silence becomes powerful. Because silence is not just about not speaking. It's about stepping back. It's about recognizing that not every person deserves access to you. Your energy is limited. Your emotional strength is limited. And if you keep giving it to the wrong people, you will have nothing left for the things that truly matter. There are people who will only come into your life to test you, not to support you, not to grow with you, but to challenge your patience, your boundaries, your strength. And if you are not careful, you will confuse these tests for permanent relationships. But the believer understands something deeper. Not every presence is a blessing. Some are lessons. And once the lesson is learnt, you must have the strength to let go. Silence helps you do that. Because instead of arguing, instead of trying to prove your worth, instead of chasing people who don't value you, you quietly step away. No drama, no long explanations, no need to be understood, just distance. And that distance is not a loss, it is protection. Because Allah sometimes removes people from your life not to hurt you, but to save you, to protect your heart, your peace, your future. But if you keep holding on, if you keep forcing connections, if you keep going back to what is draining you, you delay that protection. You hold yourself back from what Allah has prepared for you. And this is where silence becomes strength, because it allows you to walk away with dignity, without lowering yourself, without saying words you will regret, without creating more damage. You simply choose peace over chaos. And that is not easy, because sometimes walking away hurts, letting go hurts, being misunderstood hurts, but staying in the wrong place hurts even more. So you have to ask yourself, am I holding on because it's right, or because I'm afraid to let go? Because growth often begins with separation, and elevation often requires distance. Not everyone is meant to go with you to the next level of your life. Some people are only meant to be part of your past. And that's okay, because when you finally stop giving your energy to what drains you, you create space for what truly benefits you, for better people, for better opportunities, for a better version of yourself. So learn to protect your energy. Learn to recognize who deserves your presence and who doesn't. And most importantly, learn to walk away without needing to say a word. Because sometimes silence is not just protection, it is power. 5, Allah elevates those who are patient. Patience sounds simple, but living it is one of the hardest things you will ever do. Because patience is not just waiting, it's waiting while your heart is hurting. It's staying calm when everything inside you wants to react. It's holding yourself together when life feels like it's falling apart. There are moments when you do everything right, you stay silent, you avoid conflict. You trust Allah, but nothing changes. The pain is still there. The situation is still heavy. The people are still the same. And you start to wonder, Ya Allah, how long? Why is this taking so long? Am I being forgotten? And that thought can shake you. But listen carefully, Allah never forgets. Not your patience, not your tears, not your silent struggles. Every moment you choose sabr is being recorded. Every time you hold back, when you could have reacted, every time you stay strong, when you feel weak, Allah sees it all. And nothing is ever wasted. But here's what many people don't understand. Patience is not punishment. It is preparation. Allah is not delaying you to hurt you. He is preparing you for something greater. Because if you were given everything exactly when you wanted it, you might not be ready for it. You might not handle it correctly. You might lose it just as quickly as you received it. So Allah makes you wait. He strengthens you. He shapes you. He teaches you through the difficulty, through the silence, through the moments when you feel like nothing is happening. But in reality, everything is happening. Your character is growing. Your faith is deepening. Your connection with Allah is becoming stronger. And all of that is elevation. But elevation doesn't always feel like success at first. Sometimes it feels like struggle. Sometimes it feels like loss. Sometimes it feels like being left behind. But what you don't see is what Allah is doing behind the scenes. Doors are being prepared. Opportunities are being written. Blessings are being arranged at the perfect time. Not your time, but the best time. And when that moment comes, when Allah finally opens the door, you will realize something powerful. The wait was worth it. Every tear, every moment of patience, every silent battle, it all had a purpose. It all led you to something better, something greater, something you couldn't have reached without going through this. So don't rush the process. Don't lose hope just because things are slow, because Allah is not slow. He is precise. He gives exactly when it is right. So hold on, stay patient. Stay silent when it's hard. And trust that Allah is not just watching your patience. He is rewarding it in ways you cannot yet see. Because those who remain patient are never left behind. They are elevated. 6, silence brings inner peace. There is a kind of exhaustion that sleep cannot fix. It's not your body that is tired. It's your mind, your thoughts, your overthinking, your constant need to respond, to explain, to prove. That's what drains you. You replay conversations. Again and again in your head, you think about what you should have said, what you could have said, what you might say next time. And slowly, you lose your peace because your heart becomes attached, not to Allah, but to people's opinions, to their words, their actions, their judgments. And without realizing it, you give them control over your emotions. They upset you, they disturb you, they take your peace away. Not because they are powerful, but because you allowed their words to live inside your mind. And this is where silence changes everything. Because when you choose silence, you are not just staying quiet externally. You are calming the noise internally. You are telling yourself, I don't need to respond to everything. I don't need to prove myself to everyone. I don't need validation from الناس. And that realization is freeing, because the moment you stop reacting, you stop feeding the chaos. And when you stop feeding the chaos, it starts to fade away. Your mind becomes lighter. Your heart becomes calmer. And for the first time in a long time, you feel at peace. Not because everything around you is perfect, but because you are no longer controlled by it. This is the beauty of turning back to Allah. Because when your focus shifts from people to Allah, everything changes. You start caring less about opinions and more about your connection with Him. You start letting go of arguments and holding on to your peace. You start choosing silence, not as an escape, but as a form of strength. Because real peace is not found in winning arguments. It's not found in proving others wrong. It's not found in being understood by everyone. Real peace is found in al-qalb, a heart that is connected to Allah, a heart that trusts Him, a heart that knows. No matter what people say, no matter what happens, Allah is enough. And when you reach that level, something inside you settles. You don't feel the need to react anymore. You don't feel the urge to chase people anymore. You don't feel disturbed by every small thing anymore, because your peace is no longer dependent on people. It is rooted in Allah. So protect that peace. Don't let unnecessary arguments steal it. Don't let people's opinions control it. Don't let your emotions destroy it. Choose silence when speaking will only create chaos. Choose distance when staying will only bring stress. Choose Allah over everything else. Because when Allah becomes your focus, peace is no longer something you chase. It becomes something you live. 7. Allah fights for those who trust Him. There is something deeply comforting, yet often forgotten. You are not alone in your battles. Even when it feels like it, even when no one supports you, even when you are standing by yourself, you are never alone. Because when you truly trust Allah, He fights for you. But here's the problem. We don't always let Him. We rush to defend ourselves. We rush to respond. We rush to prove our innocence, as if everything depends on us, as if we have to fix everything, handle everything, control everything. But we forget there is a Lord who is in control of all things. The one who sees every dhulma, every lie, every injustice done to you. Do you really think He will let it go unnoticed? Do you really think He will leave you without help? No. But help from Allah does not always come the way you expect. Sometimes it doesn't come immediately. Sometimes it comes quietly. Sometimes It comes when you've already given up trying. And that's where true trust is tested. Can you stay silent even when you know you're right? Can you hold back even when you feel wrong? Can you trust Allah even when you don't see anything changing? Because that is real tawakkul. Not when things are easy, but when they are hard. Not when you see results, but when you don't. And here is the beautiful part. When you choose to trust Allah, He begins to work in ways you cannot imagine. Situations start to shift. People who spoke against you begin to expose themselves. Truth begins to surface without you saying a word. Doors begin to open that you never even knocked on. And you sit there watching it all unfold, realizing this was never in your control. This was always in Allah's hands. And if you had reacted, if you had fought every battle, if you had tried to fix everything yourself, you might have ruined what Allah was perfectly arranging. Because sometimes your interference delays your victory, but your silence speeds it up. Your trust activates it. Your patience completes it. And then comes the moment when Allah gives you justice, not the small justice you imagined, but something greater, something cleaner, something more complete, something that doesn't just prove you right, but elevates you above the entire situation. And in that moment, you don't feel the need to argue anymore. You don't feel the need to explain anymore, because Allah has already done it for you, better than you ever could. So the next time you feel alone, the next time you feel wronged, the next time you feel like you need to defend yourself, pause it. And remember this, if Allah is with you, you don't need to fight every battle. Let Allah handle it. Trust Him. Stay silent when it's hard, and watch how the one who controls everything takes care of you in ways no one else ever could. Because when Allah fights for you, there is no loss, only elevation. So remember, not every battle needs your voice. Not every situation needs your reaction. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stay silent and trust Allah. Because when you step back, Allah steps in. And when Allah steps in, everything changes. If this reminder touched your heart, take a moment, reflect on it, and share it with someone who needs it today. Because you never know, this message might be exactly what someone is waiting for. And if you want more reminders like this, that bring peace to your heart and strength to your faith, make sure you subscribe and join this journey of becoming closer to Allah. Until next time, stay patient, stay strong, and remember, Allah is always with you.